What is up, YouTube? Welcome back for another episode of Let's Talk Wrestling on Liana King TV. Another episode of Let's Talk Wrestling, and today we are going to be going right into it. Hope you guys are having a good day, good week. So we'll jump right into it. Clash at the Castle recap. Clash at the Castle was this past Saturday on Peacock, on the WWE Network on Peacock. And what a wrestling weekend it was. This was a wrestling weekend. Especially because NXT Worlds Collide was that Sunday. And AEW All Out in Chicago was that Sunday night as well. The Clash of the Castle being that Saturday, so that was a big weekend. But yeah, All Out was Sunday in Chicago. And this is what's going on at Clash at the Castle. Look at the match card for Clash of the Castle. So the main event, what a main event it was. We got Roman Reigns versus Drew McIntyre for the Undisputed WWE Universal Championship. Head of SummerSlam, McIntyre defeated Sheamus to become number one contender to the Undisputed title. Reigns then defeated Brock Lesnar in a wild last man standing match at SummerSlam to retain his titles, setting up the match with McIntyre. McIntyre was clearly have the hometown crowd behind him, but ending the title run of Reigns has proven near impossible. So, for the most part, man, Drew McIntyre has defeated Roman Reigns has defeated Drew McIntyre for the titles. And we also saw during the match Austin Theory tried to cash in. When both men were down, Austin Theory's theme music came on. He ran to the ring with the briefcase. Tyson Fury punched him in the face, striked him, and costed Fury to cash in on this match. Theory is still Mr. Money in the Bank, but thanks to Tyson Fury, pretty much Roman still has the title. Another person who caused that Roman to have the title was we saw the main roster debut of Solo Sikoa. Solo Sikoa from NXT has debuted on the main roster. He's going to be on SmackDown tomorrow and debuting on this Friday. He'll be on SmackDown. But we saw Solo Sikoa pull the referee out of the ring when he was getting the pin on McIntyre on Roman. And it costed McIntyre the match, costing him to lose. And now Solo Sikoa joining the bloodline and keeping the titles on Roman Reigns. This is very interesting. So that's what's going on. We also have, Solo Sikoa debuting on SmackDown tomorrow. We also had Karrion Kross and Scarlett in the audience ringside watching the match from ringside. So that was pretty interesting. Him and McIntyre were exchanging words. So it was a hell of a main event. I really think Clash of the Castle was one of the best pay-per-views of 2022 this year. I really think we talk about best pay-per-views, WrestleMania, SummerSlam, Elimination Chamber, and Clash at the Castle so far have been the four best pay-per-views of this year for me. And Money in the Bank was decent. So it's like the 4 or 5 best pay-per-views this year. I will say, but SummerSlam and Clash at the Castle, those definitely are the number 2 best pay-per-views this year, including WrestleMania. So yeah. We also got, so Roman Reigns is still your undisputed WWE Universal Champion. I guess next I can talk about the SmackDown Women's Championship. Liv Morgan versus Shayna Baszler. Morgan defeated a former MMA female fighter, which is Shayna Baszler. You know, Shayna Baszler is great in the ring. It's about time she gets a singles push. It's about time she gets a title shot and gets to be on her own in a singles run for the title. And I think that she hasn't been in a singles run since 2020, back since her WrestleMania feud with Becky Lynch. So I think this is kind of a good move for Shayna Baszler. But Liv Morgan is still SmackDown Women's Champion. She defeated her. So I believe that at Extreme Rules, the next pay-per-view, I think it's either this month or next month. But at Extreme Rules, I think they're going to put the title on Shayna Baszler. I wouldn't be surprised if that happens. We also got Bianca Belair and Asuka. Or, before I move to the next topic, they could add Ronda Rousey and make it a triple threat match at Extreme Rules, where it's Liv Morgan, Ronda Rousey, and Shayna for the SmackDown Women's title. I think that will happen. Let me know your thoughts. So we got a 6-woman tag match. Bianca Belair, Asuka, and Alexa Bliss versus Bayley, Io Sky, and Dakota Kai, which is Damage Control. I think is the name of their faction. Their stable, I'm not sure. But the name of the faction is Damage Control. After Belair defeated Becky Lynch for SummerSlam to retain the Raw Women's title, things got wild. Bayley returned at SummerSlam and debuted her new faction, Damage Control. And one thing I want to say about Bayley is she's a great heel. Bayley's a good heel. She's a great talent. She can go. She's great at promos. Her segments, the ding dong hello thing worked. Bayley's underrated to me. Bayley should be much respected, but she's very underrated. And we talk about the best female wrestlers in ring performers in WWE today. She's on that same level of like a Charlotte or a Sasha Banks. So I think Bayley is on that list. Definitely, Damage Control got the victory over Bianca and Asuka and Alexa. I think it was good to get them over. If you want to get a faction that's over, a brand new faction to the roster, then I think what better way is to have them defeat Bianca Belair. I love Bianca, but I think that was a good move for have Damage Control get over and let them look undefeatable right now to help the momentum of the faction. But there were your winners. Then we got Seth Rollins versus Riddle. The match was originally supposed to take place at SummerSlam. Due to Matt Riddle's injury a month ago, we wound up getting the match booked at Clash of the Castle this past Saturday. Seth Rollins came out on top. I'm not the biggest Matt Riddle fan, but I will give him credit that he's good in the ring. He's talented. He's very athletic. He's a great competitor, and I think that he's a great athlete. So I don't know. As a competitor, I think he's good. As an athlete, he's great. But I really think one of the best wrestlers of this generation is definitely Seth Rollins. I mean, you have to give him credit. He's one of the greatest wrestlers today. Seth Rollins, that was a good match. He actually defeated Matt Riddle. I don't call him Riddle. I call him Matt Riddle. But anyway, he defeated Riddle and got the win. And I think that he's actually one of the best wrestlers today is Seth Rollins. I would not be surprised if he gets a title shot next year. Not this year, but I do believe he'll get a title shot next year. And we could see him as the next WWE Undisputed Universal Champion. I believe he could take the titles off Roman. If it's one guy on the roster who could take the titles off Roman, then I believe it's Seth Rollins. So Seth Rollins defeated Riddle. Then we got, let's just get it clear. Seth Rollins is one of the best wrestlers today. We got an Intercontinental Championship with Gunther versus Sheamus. So, as you all know, Gunther defeated Sheamus. And I was really looking forward to seeing Sheamus win this match because Sheamus has never held, I think he's held other titles, but he's never held the Intercontinental Championship. You know, Sheamus has been in WWE. Let's look it up. You know, Sheamus has been in WWE, past a decade now. He's been in WWE for like a decade, past a decade. And I think that he's the former WWE champion. He defeated, first won the WWE title when he defeated John Cena back in 2009, which I remember as a kid watching that. And I remember when he won the title back in like 2009. And he was actually really good. I think that, I can see why WWE doesn't want to push him right now. But I think that at the time when he was at his peak, I think that he was a good champion. He kind of made you hate him as a kid, and I think that you kind of, that's the kind of heel character that resonates with audiences and fans and younger fans. I think that's what. So I think that Sheamus was a good champion, but I can see why it's not going to push him now for the title. But I think a mid-card title, like an Intercontinental title, yeah, because I think, like you said, he never held the Intercontinental title. So this was actually one of the best matches on the card of the night at Clash of the Castle. I think that we could have really almost saw Sheamus become the Intercontinental Champion and win his first Intercontinental title. And we still got Gunther as champion. So next we also got, this match was really interesting. This match was really interesting. We got we have a tag team match. Edge and Rey Mysterio versus the Judgment Day, Finn Balor and Damian Priest. Obviously with Rhea Ripley ringside. So we got Edge and Damian Priest against Edge and Rey Mysterio versus Finn Balor and Damian Priest. Excuse me. So, this was a big match. This was one of the best matches as well. We saw Edge come to the ring with a luchador mask on. He was accompanied by Dominic, Dominic was also watching on ringside. And after the match, I believe Edge and Rey Mysterio got the victory. And right during the victory, after the match, of the celebration, we see Dominic Mysterio give Edge a kick. He gets a low blow. And the audience and everyone watching has this reaction, like, what? And this is what I wanted to see. I predicted this and I knew this was going to happen, and I wanted to see this. And Dominic turned on his father, Rey Mysterio, and he turned on Edge, meaning that he is now a member of the Judgment Day. He gave a low blow to the Rated R Superstar. And this is one of the best storylines on Raw right now, because you got Dominic, who's now a new member of the Judgment Day. So they finally got a new member in their faction. It's 4 people now, which they need a new member. Then you got, like, the big question is, are we going to see Edge and Dominic face each other next Monday night on Raw? And will we also see at a pay-per-view, maybe at Extreme Rules, will we get a Rey Mysterio versus Dominique match. Rey Mysterio versus Dominique. This could be a father and son match. Will we get Rey Mysterio versus Dominic Mysterio? This is very controversial because Edge came out Monday night wanting to kick Dominique, wanted to take on Dominique, and then the fact that he's Rey Mysterio's son, Rey Mysterio is going to have his son's back. So this is very interesting. This is one of the best storylines in WWE right now. Is the Edge Rey Mysterio on Judgment Day storyline. We already knew something. I already knew something was going to happen with this. I knew that, it was going to come to. I already knew that something was going to happen. And I think that the big shocking twist was Dominic joining Judgment Day. So this is the right move. This is creative writing. This is good storyline. This is good for the fans. This is good entertainment. And they put on some good matches. So this could be a good move for their company right now. So that was pretty much what we got at Clash at the Castle. It was in McIntyre's hometown. And one of the best things I loved with Clash at the Castle was we got McIntyre Broken Dreams theme came back in the vignette promo. And we saw the return of the Broken Dreams song. And we got it, the Broken Dreams Drew McIntyre. So that was pretty awesome. And then we got the match with him and Roman. And Roman is still Undisputed Champion with Solo Sikoa debuting on SmackDown this Friday. So we got a new member of the Bloodline. We got a new member of the Judgment Day. WWE is getting much better right now. And we got Karrion Kross back. How better can it get in wrestling right now? So next I want to talk about Monday Night on Raw. We got the return of Braun Strowman. I knew this was going to happen. We heard the rumors. We knew that Braun was going to go back and debut. He interrupted a 6-man tag match with the Street Profits versus Alpha Academy and the other tag team. And then he came out to the ring. Fans in the arena went wild, went crazy. He devastated the ringside, put guys through tables, catching dudes to fade. And this was just awesome. We got to really see Braun Strowman back in WWE. He also announced backstage that he will be back on SmackDown this Friday. So we're going to see him all week. We're going to see him on Raw this Monday. And we're going to see him on SmackDown this Friday. So this was a good move. We knew it was going to happen. Head of creative know what he's doing. We're getting Braun Strowman back in a new match. And they got to find an opponent for him eventually. And but yeah, I'm just happy to see that we got Braun back. If we're getting Braun back, we'll be surprised who we get back. We might get Samoa Joe back. Bray Wyatt may come back. The Fiend may come back. So this is actually a good move for WWE. If we're getting Braun Strowman, then we're getting the Fiend. So yeah. So to switch gears and switch topics, I want to talk about the AEW drama. AEW has had a lot of drama. And Tony Khan's got to get his company together. After the AEW All-Out pay-per-view event in Chicago, at the Now Arena in Chicago, there was a big brawl that happened after a media scrum. CM Punk and Tony Khan came out. Punk gave some remarks involving his beef with independent wrestler Colt Cabana, who used to be his former best friend. He was on the Colt Cabana Art of Wrestling podcast back in 2014, kind of explaining his release from WWE, his exit from WWE and why he left the company, and him leaving WWE. And then he talked stuff about Colt Cabana. He talked about the Young Bucks, the Elite, Kenny Omega. He says that the guys he works with in AEW is like the talent in the locker room is like working with children. He mentioned Hangman Adam Page and made some insults. And this was just very, like, whiny CM Punk. But this was just very good. And we got him talking stuff about guys. So then, you know, it was an interesting media scrum. I watched it this Monday. And it was very interesting. Turns out that was a big altercation that happened. There was a real life fight that happened with CM Punk backstage for the Young Bucks. So I'm going to try to pull up right here. This past weekend was a big one for wrestling fans. WWE put out a giant show in the UK for the first time in 19 years. And AEW All Out saw the return of MJF at the end of the Fantastic pay-per-view. All of that was almost immediately forgotten, though, due to the press conference that followed All Out in a media scrum that took place minutes after CM Punk regained the AEW Championship in the All Out's main event against Jon Moxley, who was formerly known as Dean Ambrose. Frustrated CM Punk took aim at many of his high-profile AEW colleagues. Punk, whose real name is Phil Brooks, lashed out in a profanity-rich tirade at Hangman Adam Page, the Young Bucks, Matt and Nick Jackson, and Scott Colt Cabana, criticizing the Young Bucks, who are both active performers and executive vice presidents of AEW. Punk described them as irresponsible people who call themselves AVPs, couldn't manage the target, which I think is true. He's not lying. The affair reportedly turned violent after the media scrum, the press conference. According to several wrestling publications, a fight broke out between CM Punk and AEW producer Ace Steel, one side, and the other, the Jacksons, and AEW EVP Kenny Omega as a result. According to Sports Illustrated, AEW has suspended the Young Bucks and Kenny Omega. CM Punk and Ace Steel's punishment, suspension, and termination of their contract is to be determined. Complicating matters, CM Punk reportedly injured his triceps in his match against Jon Moxley. AEW was contacted for a comment but did not immediately respond. Here's what you need to know. Okay. Supposedly, there was this big brawl that happened. I don't know who said or started what, but I think that from what reading, the Young Bucks had stormed into CM Punk's dressing room, and there was this big brawl between CM Punk and the Elite, which the Elite is a faction in AEW. That consists of Kenny Omega and the Young Bucks tag team. So there was a big brawl that happened between the Elite and CM Punk, and they went at it. I guess this all happened at the Now Arena after the post media scrum. There was this big fighting argument that it went on. And it says right here, actually, let me see. We don't have an official account of what occurred backstage following Punk's comments. The Wrestling Observer and Fightful, two reliable pro wrestling outlets, have both reported on a scuffle that ensued between CM Punk, his trainer, and AEW producer Christopher A. Steele, Kenny Omega and Matt and Nick Jackson. AEW coach Pat Buck and wrestlers Brandon Cutler and Michael and Christopher Daniels were reportedly also involved in breaking up the fight. So Christopher Daniels from TNA, he was breaking it up. Punk is reported to have taken a swing at Matt Jackson and Nick Jackson, where reportedly sustained a blow to the eye after Steele threw a chair at him. Steele is also said to have gotten in a melee with Kenny Omega, who's also an EVP as well. reportedly biting him in the brawl. Damn. Accounts differ on who started the fight. Some claim it was Punk and Steel. Others say it was Omega and the Young Bucks. Steel's wife was also reported in the room. Okay. So, that's what happened. There was biting, there was chair throwing, there was punches, and all kind of crazy stuff. And I guess this all happened. At least you can say this is black folks. They don't always fight. So we ain't the only ones. But anyway, this kind of apparently happened at the Now Arena in Chicago. And this was all backstage after the event. And wow, this is interesting. I just really took a picture with the guy at C2E2. And to hear a lot of this stuff, this is kind of interesting. He took a shot at man. So AEW has a lot of drama right now. And also, did you hear about the Eddie Kingston, Sammy Guevara fight that happened backstage, which caused Eddie Kingston's suspension? Why you haven't seen him on AEW TV last few weeks? So that's interesting. They got a lot of beef and brawls right now. Is AEW falling apart? We don't know. We'll see. Supposedly on AEW on right now. Excuse me, but AEW is on tonight. Tony Khan is making an announcement about the future of the AEW World Championship title. And he's going to talk about the AEW Championship. And he's going to make an announcement. So I'm going to watch. I'm going to find out. I want to hear what's going on. What's going on with his company. Does he have control over his company? I didn't like the comment he made during the post-media scrum. But I'm going to see if... I'm going to do another video on that tonight. And we're going to find out what Tony Khan is doing. But for the most part, there were a couple other topics I want to talk about. But I can knock this last one out. What's next for Drew McIntyre? I think we may get a match for him and Karrion Kross at Extreme Rules. Or we'll probably get the triple threat where it's Karrion and Drew all for and Roman for the Undisputed WWE Universal title. So maybe that's what happened. We'll get a triple threat match at Extreme Rules. I don't know. I think that a Solo Sikoa and Drew McIntyre match will be really good. A Solo Sikoa versus Karrion Kross on SmackDown, that's going to be a really good match. So the future wrestling is good right now. Wrestling is very good. You got Solo Sikoa. You got Karrion Kross. This is really good. And Solo Sikoa is a really good athlete. He's really good. If you watch him in NXT and his matches, the guy can go. He's a perfect addition for the Bloodline. He's a new member. He makes the faction. They've been rumored for weeks that he was going to debut on the main roster. And he's going to show up on SmackDown. So this has been rumored for a while. And Solo Sikoa is coming to Friday Night SmackDown. This is amazing. He's joining the Bloodline. Will we see Naomi join the Bloodline? That's another video. That's another topic. But the Bloodline is their members are pretty full right now. And the future of wrestling is really in good hands, with Triple H being the new head of creative. A lot of returns we could see in WWE. I'd like to see Samoa Joe back, feuding with the Bloodline. I'd love to see Bray Wyatt come back. Who knows who we'll see. You got Gargano on Raw. So this is really interesting. But that's what I want to do the video on tonight. Clash of the Castle recap. And the AEW all-out drama this past weekend. So, yes. So, make sure you leave a like, leave a comment, hit that subscribe button. Whatever you do, hit that subscribe button. And stay cool, and thank you for watching Let's Talk Wrestling on Leon the King TV. It's your host, Alex, the King of the Ring, and thank you for watching Leon Let's Talk Wrestling. Check you later on tonight.